Hi, it's Maureen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm setting up my March 2023 bullet journal. I'll be using the Queen Bee stamp set, these ink pads, and markers. I'll also be using these fun water painters, all from Stampin' Up. From the Queen Bee stamp set, I'll be using these images. Now it's time for my flip through of my February setup. I had a lot of fun working through these pages. You can see I'm filming my video before I finish February, so I'm a little bit ahead of the game this month. Now, let's get ready to jump right on into our March setup. I decided to use a Queen Bee stamp set because it has lots of fun things that make me think about spring. So the first thing I'm going to do on the left side of the page is I'm going to get my heading set up. I'll be using these stamp sets, the bumblebee, a flower sprig, and some other things that we'll figure out along the way. So to get started, I am using my water painter to create a background. So I'm going to start off by making a background on the right side using some shaded spruce ink. And I will be stamping a flower sprig here in a little bit. But I thought I would try something new. I dabbled a little bit with the watercoloring last month, and I thought I would try it again this month. On the left side, I am using Mango Melody, and I'm making a background in the center. And I'm going to be stamping a bee in the center of the page over there. So just trying some new things out. Got my watercolor going on over there, and I took a few minutes to let it dry. Now I'm inking up the flower sprig, and I'm going to stamp that on the right side of the page. Sometimes when I have a larger stamp, I lay it down and then I put the ink on top of it. Just makes me get better coverage. So there we go. I have my flower sprig on the right, and now I'm stamping up that bumblebee, and I'm going to inking the bumblebee, and I'm going to stamp it on the left side of the page. At the top, I'm writing hello, and then I'm going to put a background there using a Mango Melody marker, and I'm going to write March, just to help that March pop out just a little bit. On the right side, I'm adding a quote, because you know I love to have quotes in my bullet journal. So this quote says, your wings already exist. All you have to do is fly. And I'm going to write the fly in large letters using a mint macaron ink marker. And I decided to use the lighter color marker because once I use the shaded spruce, which is a darker green, for the background, it kind of gets watered down so it doesn't have its full strength. So then I decided to go with a lighter color to write the word fly. I added some clusters of dots around the page just to make it more interesting. And now I'm ready for my monthly setup. For my monthly setup, I'm continuing on with the 5x5 boxes with 5 on the right and 2 on the left. I am going to give myself another background on the left. I'm going to add one to the top and let that dry a little bit while I put a little heading above each of the boxes for the days of the month. Once I have that set up and everything has dried a little bit, I ink up my flower sprigs and I put them on the left side and on the top. And then I am numbering my calendar from 1 to 31. This is a pretty easy, simple setup, something that's really quick. The colors are bright that make me happy for March, but not something that's going to take a lot of time to do. I wanted to do something quick and easy. One other thing that I'm going to add to this page is I'm going to put the first letter for each of the days of the week at the top. And I'm doing this with a hand lettering font. Nice and quick and easy at the top. And then I'm creating a background using my mint macaron marker, and I am going to write the word March at the top. Now off camera, I am going to go back and color in these flowers. So if you check me out on Instagram at Maureen's Bujo Life, you can see the final result for when I do add color to this page. Right now, I am just stamping some clusters around or a little bit of dust splatters of black dots, stamping that around the page. I am adding some bumblebees because bumblebees love flowers. And at the bottom, I decided to add another flower sprig. So I am putting more of a background at the bottom there. And I'm going to let that dry a little bit. Might not let it dry as much as I should have, so that when I go to ink it, you will see that it comes out a little bit darker, but that's okay. I'm using Mango Melody to add some more dots around the page just to give it a little bit more color, to make it a little bit more interesting. And here you can see my flower sprigs at the bottom. I'm giving it a nice quick drop shadow. And this page is just about done. All right, now we're going to jump on into our gratitude page. And my gratitude page is like a one line a day where I write one thing a day that I am grateful for or that made me happy. At the top of the page, I have made a background using my Mango Melody marker. And on the right side, I'm using Mango Melody ink to create another background. So this layout is using a lot of watercoloring, just using those ink pads and my water painter and just using that to do some watercoloring. On the left side, I'm numbering the page from 1 to 31, and I am drawing a line for every other line so that when I go to write, it makes it easier to find those dots. And also it keeps the page more interesting so that it's not just a blank page with numbers going down. So I'm adding some dots there, and I'm also going to add some bees. So one bee to the left and one bee to the right, just to keep that same theme going throughout the whole spread. On the right side, I'm going to stamp that big bumblebee. I love this bumblebee. It's so cute and big. I love how it looks there, and I'm going to add a little bit of color in there. I decided just to make it a little bit more deep there. And later, I'm going to go back in off camera and add some other colors. So I'm going to add green to it. I might do it here. I'm not sure if I do it now or later. But at any rate, this is my dashboard. And for my dashboard, I am writing down things that I need to do for the month, things that I need to think about. So things that I need to do for the home, I'll put in the home section. I have errands, I have contacts, stamping, and then also watch for things that I want to remember to watch. I am adding my heading at the top using Mango Melody for the background. I am going to add some splatters or some little dots, and then I'm going to write the word dashboard at the top. And I'm using my hand lettering font here. So I have the hand lettering at the top, and then I've used a printed type of font around for where I wrote home, errands, and such. And that just, when you change up the fonts on your page, it just makes it more interesting. So you can see I am adding color here on this page to the bee. I want to keep the green or the shaded spruce color mixed in with all the pages and along with the Mango Melody. It just kind of makes the pages all connect and keeps the theme going through by continuing to use the same colors throughout the spreads. And so I'm adding some splatters, going to add some lines again to fill the page in so that it's not blank and to help me when I'm writing. I like to put a line under each line, and it just, I think, adds some depth to the page and makes it look more interesting. We are coming down to the home stretch. So now I am going to put my set up my weeklies, and I'm going to do a 2-week weekly across the 2 pages, and I'm going to continue this weekly throughout the whole month. So although I'm only showing you 2 weeks here, I will be creating the same layout, just varying it just slightly. And again, you can find pictures of this on Instagram. I'll be posting those on Maureen's Bujo Life, so remember to check me out. So now I'm adding a little background at the bottom using that shaded spruce ink because I am going to be stamping some more of those flower sprigs here. So I want to get a nice background just to add a nice pop of color and then to make it look interesting as well. At the top, I am using the Mango Melody to create a background. I think I love the softness of watercoloring, so I just decided to do it a bit more. I am also trying to get some like splatters, so I'm juicing up that water painter and then flicking it on the page, and it's fun and it kind of got all over the place, but I love the way the finished product of how it looks on my page. So now I'm adding lines. These lines are going to be the area where I am going to write my tasks for the week. So on the left side, I'm going to be writing the tasks that are for home. So things that I need to get done, whether it's phone calls or different chores around the house, I'll be writing those things on the left. On the right side, I'm going to be writing my tasks for work. So things that I need to get done at work, I will list them over there to help me remember to get to them. And I love having it as a 2-week spread because if I don't get to something on the first week, well, then I have time to get to it by the second week. So it gives me a longer time or span of time to get through everything. And you can see I kind of carried through with that line under the line. And again, it just gives it more depth. It makes it look more interesting to me. So now I'm inking up the flower sprig. I'm going to stamp it on the bottom of the left and the bottom of the right. I am also going to stamp some bees here. And I'm going to stamp some on top of the flower sprig. And then I'm going to stamp some on the bottom because sometimes I do see bees hanging off the bottom of a flower. You know, they're trying to get what they can get that pollen out of the flower so that they can take that back. And I just love to see how that looks. And I wanted to make it look as real as possible. So at the top, you can see I wrote the word tasks. I am filling in the left side for home and the right side for work. I'm adding some splatters of dots using my Memento ink. I am also going to do some flicking on this page too. Actually, I think I did it later off camera. But now let's get ready for a flip through. We're all done. How fast is this for this month? So you can see all of my pages. Thank you so much for joining me and for tuning in. Please share this video with a friend. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Also click the bell to get notified when I post a video. All the items will be linked in the description, and I'll see you next time. Thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye.